Well, in the studio, we have 3 people from Mountain Community Theater up in Ben Lomond. We have Peter Gelblum, Martin Kachuck, and Dave Halper. Martin, I probably butchered your name.
No, you did beautifully.
Okay, well, good. I passed my audition.
Yay!
Yay! Can I be in your play?
Yes.
All right, good.
You got Halper's easy. You got Gelblum and Kachuck.
I know, Kachuck. No, it's Kachuck.
It's actually Kachuck. So,
Kachuck, okay.
yeah.
That's like
My
sounds
Russian friends will be happy.
that sounds like a radio station. We're KSQD, you're Kachuck.
That's right.
Great.
Tune in.
Tune right in. So, Peter, you're doing the viewing room. Tell us about this play, and then we're going to actually inveigle our 2 actors here.
Yeah, we're going to do a little scene for you.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. This is a script. It's unpublished. The author just sent it to us, I'm sure, along with hundreds of other theaters, saying you want to do this show. And it's been done about a dozen times elsewhere. And we all read it. We have a play selection committee that picks the plays for each season. And we all read this, and we loved it. It's really funny. And then it gets really moving and interesting and sort of powerful. But it's predominantly really, really funny. It's about a family that shows up for the patriarch's wake at a funeral home, at the viewing room of a funeral home. It's one scene, one set, very straightforward. And lo and behold, and this is the scene we're going to do for you, the patriarch, played by Martin, sits up in the casket and starts talking. He has received a very strong suggestion from above to come back and make amends, because he's not ready to enter wherever he's going to enter until he makes amends with his family. So he comes, and the first person who arrives is Matthew, played by Dave Halper, the youngest son. There's 4 children and a wife. It's really, you can imagine some of the situations that come up. It's really very funny. And then in Act 2, the patriarch, Martin, confronts each of the family members and says, tell me about, you have a bone to pick with me? Tell me, was that...
There's bones.
There's bones. There's lots of bones. Everybody has bones. It gets really powerful at times, but never stops being funny. And that's basically the story. It's a pretty straightforward story, pretty simple, straightforward story.
Don't forget the undertaker who can't see the deceased person being alive.
Yes, there is one non-family member, the undertaker, as Dave said, and a lot of the funny stuff happens because he can't see the deceased. He has no idea, so a lot of good stuff happens around that situation.
All right. So we're going to hear the scene.
And I'm directing it, by the way.
Okay. Do you want to be on mic while they're...
No, don't need to be. So I do want to set the scene, though. So,
yes, please do.
So this is not exactly at the beginning. This is about 10 pages into the script. And Matthew, obviously is shocked by his dead father not being dead anymore, sitting up and talking and making jokes and all sorts of stuff. And he's trying to wrap his head around it. And in this little scene... Martin is sitting up in the casket. He's still in the casket. He does a lot of the play from the casket, including one scene with the casket lid closed, and people are talking to him through the casket. It's very funny. But in this scene, he's sitting up, and he's trying to get Matthew to come closer so he can tell him something. And he's saying, come on, and you'll hear the rest of it here. This is what happens.
Don't worry. I won't bite.
How are you pulling this off? This is really freaking me out.
Step closer, and I'll try to explain.
What part of freaking me out is unclear?
Please. This is meant for your ears only.
But he can't hear you. What is it?
Closer. I have to whisper this.
Go ahead.
I'm here. Get over it.
Let go. Let go
There's
me.
things to resolve. We need to come to common ground.
I'm all for common ground, so long as it's above
We
ground.
haven't been close, you and I.
We're close now. Might I suggest a stronger mouthwash?
I want to matter. Leave a mark.
You are. All over my neck.
Was I a bad father? Be honest.
Do you want honesty? I'll need distance.
You don't look so good.
It's called shock.
How do I look? They say embalming enhances the appearance. Just gives me gas.
No worries. We'll have Ma's plot moved upwind.
Oh, how's she doing? My passing must have put her in a terrible state.
Yeah, she can't decide which color for her new Mercedes.
Mercedes? My body's not even cold yet, and she's already pissing through the inheritance?
She always said, God forbid anything happens to your father, I'm going out and buy a Mercedes.
Ooh, now there's a mixed message.
All messages from Ma are mixed.
I slaved so hard to save money, and then what on earth are you looking for?
Could ask you the same question. I don't know. Hidden cameras? I got a feeling someone's laughing like hell at me.
Son, it was important for me to come back, have a heart-to-heart with the family. Otherwise, I'll never truly be at rest.
What about our rest? Does that count for anything?
I'm offering you a final opportunity to clear the air.
The air between us is like L.A. smog, impenetrable.
Well, then let's fix it. You're angry with me. Why?
That's a long, complicated answer.
Well, you need to address these issues between us. Otherwise, you'll be stuck in a bad place.
I left Holyoke, remember?
Bad place emotionally. If it helps, try to envision heaven.
I'm an atheist. Give me proof.
Proof of heaven. The Red Sox finally won the series. What greater proof do you need?
How about some peace on earth?
I'll put in a request.
Did they kick you out? Is that what happened?
I came back because we need to discuss my legacy.
You may be a candidate for immortality, but not for reasons to be proud of.
Oh, does everyone feel that way? Obviously, my actions have been misunderstood. Perhaps it's best if I deliver my own eulogy today.
Oh, that will go over well. Talk about awkward. Tell me, will you be going with a first or third person narrative?
I need the family to understand who I am, why I've done the things I've done, what was in my heart and in my mind.
The time to do that was when you were alive. Here, let me clarify. Dead man lies still, and this part, very important, refrains from talking. This is how a deceased person is supposed to be.
Nice. Tell it like it is there, Sonny. That
If
is
only I
hilarious.
could smack him side of the head.
Right. Are you like immobilized talking?
Well, I'm just in a casket, so unfortunately I can't get out yet.
He does get out. We just got the casket
Spoiler alert.
this week. Yeah, it's not much of one. We just got the casket this week, and we're working on it. There's apparently a little bad smell in it.
Oh no. You mean it's used?
It might be pre-owned. We're not sure.
Refurbished?
Refurbished, yeah.
There's
Guaranteed for 6 months?
There's a joke about that in the play.
There is.
Oh, wow, what fun. So Mountain Community Theater persisted through COVID. We were just talking in the promo briefly about, Shakespeare up in Ashland is having trouble. Jewel Theater closing.
Right.
But you guys are still here. How do you do it?
We do it because most people are volunteers. That keeps our costs down, as I'm sure they are here too.
Yes, that is really how we roll.
Yeah, that's how we pay some people, but not very much, not very many, and not very much. But
So
all
it's for the love of theater you're doing it.
Absolutely.
Ask these guys, why they do it.
You
I'm not getting
bet.
paid as a director either, and I do it because I love it.
It's probably because people notice you on the street and pile praise upon your head.
Absolutely. Santa Cruz Mall,
Yeah.
overwhelmed.
It's the fame. That's what it is.
That's right.
it.
That's what it
Fame
is.
and fortune.
Ben Lomond, you can't even walk down the street.
No, not at all. Not at all.
It's happened to me once in 10 years, and it keeps me coming back.
That's right.
All the Volkswagen vans pull over and
Yeah.
Well,
there's room for your family members in the audience,
That's
hopefully. All three of them right there.
Talk about the love of the thing. Martin lives up at Mount Madonna and commutes to Ben Lomond for every rehearsal.
That is quite a ways.
it's a beautiful hour cruise.
Well, it's beautiful. But you're right. It's
Look,
Wow.
That's my text
is so
message.
nice.
That goes off during rehearsals.
that's your fans.
That's your fans all dialing in.
Usually at appropriate moments, just like
Just
that.
like that one.
That's right.
Sorry about that.
Could have happened right at the end of the scene. And like,
That
would have been perfect.
Wah,
Okay.
wah, wah.
I don't time it. Yes.
So this is opening when?
May 19th and runs to June 11th. The shows are all at Park Hall in beautiful downtown Ben Lomond. Shows are at 8 p.m. Fridays and Saturdays and 2 p.m. on Sundays, so 4 weekends. Subscriber reservations have been open for a couple weeks. Sales to the public open on Monday, May 1st. I think May 1st is Monday.
It is.
Yeah.
Wow.
And tickets, the best deal in town by far. It's $20 for seniors and students.
Such a deal.
$25 for everybody else who's not a senior or a student. It's like half the price of Jewel, or less than half the price of Jewel.
Well, the value is what counts. It's what people get out of it. And, I don't know if you ever warm up doing improv. Do you ever do that? Like when you guys are getting ready for a scene, or do you have that in your background a little bit?
Yeah, in the background. Absolutely.
And you've done improv. I wonder if I could just completely throw you into the deep end and ask you to do a little KSQD promo, since we're the Squid and we're having a fundraiser starting Saturday. So, anything you can say about radio and squids.
KSQD?
That's us.
That is so awesome. Okay. KSQD, where meaning and fulfillment and resonance await you. Simply give us a try. KSQD.
Whoa, Martin.
That was pretty good.
Nice.
I think you'd be hired for. Can you do some voiceover acting for us?
You betcha I can.
All right. Do you want to do one?
You too can be a squid farmer. Donate to KSQD. And how do they do that?
They get online at ksqd.org.
You get online at ksqd.org and make a donation. Any size is okay, big or small. We are happy to have it. It's how KSQD stays on the air, because without people like you, this place goes away.
And we don't want that. We don't want that.
Not at all. Thank you.
No, we like the squid.
We love squid, even giant squids that eat whole boats for breakfast.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you. So tell me about some other exciting productions you are planning or that you just recently did that people might have been to remind them how cool community theater is.
Yeah, so we just, we were closed to live performances for 2 full seasons during COVID. We actually closed on what would have been opening night of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest in March 13th, 2020. I remember it well, Friday the 13th.
Wait, you were all ready to go live.
They had rehearsed everything. It was opening night, and we closed. We didn't do it.
It's enough to drive you crazy.
It was very difficult for the actors and the director and everybody else. But then we closed for 2 years. We did a lot of videos during that time.
I remember you did a radio play.
We did a radio play.
We liked
absolutely. That. Yeah. The Maltese Falcon. It was great. And then we reopened in March 2022 with our 2020 season. So we did One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and it was great. We had a full season last year, and we've started our second full season. The first show was The Humans by Stephen Karam, which won the Tony Award for Best Play several years ago. It was an amazing production with one of the most amazing sets we've ever had at Park Hall. It was a full 2-story set from wall to wall of the theater. It's supposed to be in a New York City apartment. And that was really well received and really a wonderful production. This one is next. In the summer, we do our annual New Works weekend, where we do a staged reading of a new play by a local playwright just for one weekend. We do that every year. Then in the fall, our musical this year is Something Rotten. I forget the author's name, but it takes place in the 1500s during Shakespeare's life. Is that 1500s or 1600s? I can never remember. And it's about a couple of guys. It's a musical. Did great on Broadway. It's a couple of guys who are told or learn that in the future, plays will have music and people will sing. And so they create this musical about that. And then our final show of the season is Home for Christmas, another script that just showed up on our doorstep one day. And it's about a group of homeless people, something Santa Cruzans know well, who find a home for Christmas, as the title suggests. So that's going to be our season. It's a really, as always, it's a really diverse season, very different kinds of plays all through it. Humans was this intense family drama. This is another family comedy / drama, a musical, and then really sweet play about so we try to do a holiday show in November, December.
And how do you pick the plays? That must be difficult. You get a lot of suggestions, and then do you all get a vote, or do you get to pick them? How?
No, I don't get to pick anything.
You're just the director.
Yeah, we have a play selection committee that anybody who's involved with the theater is able to join. Are you on it this year, Dave?
I am indeed on the play selection committee. So we get kind of randomly doled out some of the plays to read. I don't read all of them, but I have 4 or 5 that I'm assigned to read right now, and there's more roll in. And I think the deadline is coming up for submittal.
May 7th, yeah.
So all you playwrights out there?
Yes.
And then, yes, it's a matter of reading, and, we rate them and cull them down until we wind up with the 4 that we decide to do for the next year. Something really interesting, coincidental about the play Cuckoo's Nest that took us all the way across COVID. There's the role of Knight Aid Turkle in the movie, played by Scatman Crothers, and that role. Peter played that role, was playing that role.
I was going to play that
was
role.
going to play that role when it got shut down. I ended up playing that role when it was restarted in 2022.
That's absolutely true.
And here you are, all these years later. Amazing. And you survived.
Yeah, and this is actually the first time that Dave and I have worked together on a production, I think.
That's Dave.
Well, we were both Dave Halper. We were both in Julius Caesar.
We were both in Julius Caesar, directed by Bill Peters.
And Dave, did you start out wanting to be an actor, like in school a long time ago, or is this a recent?
This was something my kids got me into.
Oh, those
my kids did Little People's Repertory Theater at the same place, and the music director told me he couldn't help me out with trading cards because he was doing auditions for Spamalot. I said, Spamalot, I love that show. Where are you doing Spamalot? He said, right here. You should go out. You'd make a great Knight. So I went home and talked to my kids and said, am I going to make a fool of myself? Should I go do this? And they said, yeah, go for it.
He said, yes, you're going to make a fool of yourself, and yes, you should go do it.
And I got cast as Sir Robin the Brave, and here I am, 12 productions later.
See what happens when you raise your hand? It's a great story. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
How many? You've been in 12 productions.
Something like that, yeah,
Incredible.
in the past 10 years.
Yeah, and I met Martin. I had seen Martin. He was the lead in a play called Red at Actors Theater about Mark Rothko. And I saw it, and I'd never seen Martin before. And I went to the director and said, where did you find this guy? Well, it turns out he's been acting around here for 30 years. And I just had not seen him. And so I got the chance to direct him in an 8/10s at 8 this year. Death. He played Death in that one too. He's playing a corpse in this one. He played Death. It's all about death.
Yes, it's all about.
That's
death.
what life is all
You're
about.
getting
right?
typecast now.
Absolutely.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. Death Brings a Casserole was that play. It was very funny too.
Yeah, well, you got to have gallows humor to survive in this world, don't
There you
you?
go.
You just got to have a
There you
little bit. That is such a fun story. So how did you get into acting, Martin?
Well, way back 80 billion years ago.
It's a long time.
It really is. At UCSC, I got my degree in general theater, and I think I had acted in one play. It was when I was getting my master's degree in directing that I finally started to act, and that was in the early 80s.
Did Shakespeare Santa Cruz have anything to do with it?
I did the little Shakespeare Santa Cruz
Nice.
way back, and tried to work around the local spots.
Yeah.
And
What did you do with Shakespeare Santa Cruz? I don't know.
I did
this.
Henry IV, Part 1. And I think that was my gig.
That's not Henry the First, though.
No, the fourth. He's the
Part
fourth
one.
guy.
Or not the 8th either.
But
The
I
sequel.
spend most of my time teaching up at Mount Madonna School.
Oh, nice. Do you teach drama up there?
I did, and I retired, and now I'm teaching English 7 and English 8.
Aw,
That's my babies.
that's lovely. And do you guys do any plays?
Yeah. The
Reading?
Mount Madonna School has a very active theater department. They produce the Ramayana, which has been done for over 40 years. In fact, it's coming around the bend.
Are you directing it again?
No, I'm out.
But you did direct it.
I did for 40 odd.
Did you ever see that, Rachel? I wanted to see that the whole time I've lived here, which is like 15 years, and I never got to see it. Do you know what we're talking about?
Yes, I do. And I remember hearing announcements about it 40 years ago, and I never made it. So we must be the ultimate procrastinator.
Yes.
Well, this is your chance at the Mexican Heritage Theater in early June. Tickets are on sale. Whoa.
Okay. This is the night to plug live
Until we're all
events.
plugging.
That's okay. Plug away.
And don't forget about Squid. Don't forget about Squid.
Don't forget about Squid. You know, we had a jingle contest. Maybe you applied, or maybe you'd like to do a jingle for us right now.
Squid, 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 SQIID. Oh! I would want to subscribe if I heard that.
I can hear the ching.
Did you submit a jingle, Rachel?
I did.
Can we hear it?
I could find it.
Come on.
Yeah.
Rachel's a fine musician too, as is Martin.
I might be able to find it, but it might take me a second.
not-
So
that's
talk amongst yourselves.
Okay.
Interview each other.
Well, Peter, I've always wanted to tell you this.
Yes, I'm
Love
waiting to
you,
hear.
man.
We're here at the same time as the 10 million people who listen to the station.
Love you, man. Why am I in a casket for this play? I should be suspended.
You're dead?
Yes, I will remind you that I did send you the script before you agreed.
That's true.
Yes, right.
That's true. You did.
And
Bless your
I
heart.
did. I actually asked Martin to play the part. I didn't hold auditions for that part because I knew he'd be so perfect for it.
If there was ever a dead guy, it was me.
He was just the perfect cadaver in my mind.
You were a dead ringer.
Yep.
That too, right?
Yeah. Someone who has to understand the repercussions of his actions.
Yeah. So we had.
Do you have it? Do you have it?
Probably a former deadhead, even.
Good.
Very good.
Quick, play
Good,
the jingle. Somebody stop me. Turn my mic off.
Yeah.
well,
You
I'll have to find it later.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
So
We
did
trust you.
You didn't win, Rachel.
I didn't. I think
Wait, you're
that
the chair of the board, aren't you? Don't you get to pick the jingle?
we picked
Don't
some.
you get to pick the plays?
No, but it
You
was.
didn't even when you were president.
I wish.
You can't even do it. Yeah. So this is the folks from Mountain Community Theater showing that they can improv with the best of them. And their wonderful play is coming up the 19th. There's a plug for you.
Thank
You
you.
can go see it. And
Yes, our website is mctshows.org, and everything's there. You can buy your tickets there and see information about the show and see these guys' names on the website. Yeah.
we have about 4 minutes. Do you want to read a little bit more of the play? Or
There's
did
really
you only
not-
rehearse? That was the only part.
No,
you know.
we're almost ready to go. We've been rehearsing for 5
Yeah,
weeks.
you
We're almost
sound
ready.
like
They
it.
just brought the scripts just to make sure that they didn't.
We didn't want to
miss no
blow
lines.
it live.
But no, it's tricky because it's an unusual script in that, except for 2 characters, once somebody comes on stage, they never leave again. So it makes it very easy. There's no
No set
scene
changes.
and very few exits and entrances, and most characters have a line on most pages. There's it might be 3 pages and then you have 1 line, 2 pages another line. So it was hard actually to pick a scene that only had 2 characters in it, because most of them have 6 or 8 characters in them. So there really isn't anything else we could do for you except rattle on like this. So,
Well, no, I think you're doing a great job.
Oh, good. Well, thank you.
Rattle away. If anyone can ad-lib, it's people from theater. We learned that in radio, too, as well.
Yeah,
but
you got to fill time, right? Like now, for example.
I
like
have
you to
something
get the-
exciting to announce, actually. There's never a dull moment.
Is it about MCT?
No,
Well,
I wish it was.
wait, this is our time,
Sorry.
Rachel. What are you doing?
You had your time. Your time.
Oh, okay.
That's right. We're yesterday's news.
You said rattle on. That's when I switched the channel. So, sorry. Just kidding. We're so happy to have you, and I'm so happy to see that community theater persists. This is a big deal. It's part of the big story. And you can come back anytime. How about that? Just
That'd
the
be
door
great,
at the Squid
Rachel.
is always open to you.
Is that the mouth of the squid?
Yeah, just
Yeah.
walk in.
Okay.
You might never walk out,
Right.
All right.
but we're very
So
welcoming.
we're like other theaters. We are not out of the woods. I mean, our costs are up. Our subscriber base is down considerably since before COVID. Jewel had exactly the same situation, but they have a lot more expenses than we do. A lot more expenses than we do. And they just couldn't figure out how it was going to work. But I talked to Julie James, who runs Jewel, And she said it's theaters all over the country. Like you said, Oregon Shakespeare Festival, which is one of the biggest, most amazing places in the world.
Ashland would not be the same place
That's
without
No,
it.
and they
That's
and a lot of it is, in addition to the higher cost from everything from wood to actors,
Or wooden actors.
people or wooden actors. Hopefully, not too many of those. People got out of the habit during COVID of going to live performances.
They
And
prefer to watch their YouTube videos than
That's
their
right.
Netflix.
That's
they
right.
discovered all that stuff in Zoom and
They got
all the
addicted to
streaming stuff.
Outlander.
Absolutely. So they got out of the habit of doing it. So it's really difficult to rebuild that subscriber base, but we're working on it.
So
We're
go
working on
out
it.
and hear some live theater. You won't regret it. And
Absolutely.
you will actually be more entertained, perhaps, than those stale plots and the
Oh,
repeating
much more. much
8-part
more.
series.
And you get to
Yeah.
see it with 50 or 100 other people, not just at home alone.
Experience laughter in an audience. That's
There's
a wonderful
nothing
thing.
like it.
Very
Yeah.
uplifting.
Like I think movie theaters are, have a couple years left and they're gone, except for blockbuster movies. But you're
Or
not going
art
to independent
house.
art house
No,
movies.
no.
No way. I heard the Nick is closed permanently.
We got to support these entities if we want to have places to go out and have fun as a collective, as a society, not just a bunch of individuals. So,
And there's things to do in community theater other than being on the stage as well. There's all sorts of, volunteer things. People help out with concessions, people help out with sets, people help out in crew and all sorts of stuff. So that could be you too. And if
Costume.
you go to mctshows.org, you can check out ways to volunteer as well as when the shows are going to be and things like that.
you're good. That's a great place to end, and we invite you to help out with Mountain Community Theater. Peter Gelblum, Martin Kachuck, and Dave Halper. Thank you all three very much for being here on The Squid on Talk of the Bay.
Thanks for
Thank you
having
for
us.
having us, Rachel. Really appreciate
Enjoyed
it.
it very much. Y'all take care.